Hello Trade Pros, it's Victoria from TRADEPRO Academy, and today we've got another Sierra chart video for you. But in this video we're going to be doing something a little different. We are actually going to give you a guide, a little tour guide of this TRADEPRO Academy Sierra chart book. The chart book that we use and the chart book that a lot of people have been asking a lot of questions about, especially here on YouTube. What we're going to do in this video is just give you a little quick guide to what we've got in our chart book, what we look at on a daily basis, all the charts, and we'll tell you how to actually get access to this chart book towards the middle or end of this video. If it's your first time here on this channel, what I'd like you guys to do is hit that subscribe button, ring that little bell to notify you when we do go live, and like this video. There's a lot of great content on the channel, and if you guys don't want to miss any new videos, that's what you got to do. Now let's get started. On the screen currently sharing here, you can see this, the main Sierra chart book setup screen. This is the main screen, and as you can see, we've got just two charts on this main screen. That's what I look at on a daily basis. I predominantly trade the S&P 500, and on the right hand side, this gray box, this gray chart right here, is the 4-tick. It's equipped with a lot of different lines, some of them hand drawn, but a lot of them are studies, which are inclusive of the VWAP, 5-day volume profile, single-day volume profile, this 4-tick range bar, the opening high, low, close, overnight high, low, close, and pivot points. There's a lot more on this. Not going to go into too much detail here, but this is a great chart to see the general market structure and how it plays out. There's a lot of really great tools, and if you guys want to learn more about them, just join us. We'll teach you everything you need to know, or write down in the comment section a specific video topic you want to see. On this left-hand side, the chart that I am expanding right now is the footprint, the elusive footprint chart. This is where we watch our order flow. It's a great chart, this 5-tick footprint chart we've created on Sierra Charts. You can see it tells us where there's buyers and sellers coming into the market in conjunction with the market structure. Now, towards the bottom of this area, you can see we've got a bunch of tabs, which are all overlaid on our correlation chart, which you will see very soon. Now, if I change the screen here and I show you what else we've got, you'll see how it all comes together. What I've done is share the top screen with you here. We've only got two charts, and these are the overall market charts. This is how I see the general move in the structure and that market's movement as a whole on a larger scale. So right here, on the left, we've got the 10-tick range bar on the S&P 500. It gives me a very clear overview of what's happened in the S&P 500 over a few days, evening sessions included. The 10 range bar creates a new candle every 10 ticks of movement. It's really great. It really shows you where there are resistance and support zones, supply and demand structures, and all that good stuff. It's got all of the studies that are overlaid on the 4-tick. You can see we've got the pivots S3, S2, S1, R1, R2. You've got previous day highs, overnight highs, opens, overnight lows. You've got two VWAPs here. You've got a 5-day volume profile and a session volume profile that really identifies where key structure is. Now, here to the right-hand side, we've got an overview of the oil market. I like to watch crude closely, although I do not trade it too much. I do trade it once in a while, so I like to see what's going on in the crude market just to give me a bird's eye view and a potential opportunity in the market. This is a 5-tick. It's got all the good stuff all the other charts I've shown you so far have, and it's just a 5-tick range bar. It tells me what the market structure is, very clean, and I can see the direction of the crude chart before I go into a slightly different crude chart to actually execute the trades. Now, if I move on to this next screen right here, you will see where all of the action kind of takes place. We've got two DOMs that I use here. I change them up, but I only like to keep two on my screen, and we've got these little DOM trade windows that help me flatten, change the lot size, whatever it is. But right here, we've got a customized crude DOM. It gives me all these levels right here. I just click on the bid or the offer if I want to get in limits long, limits short. We've got the trade window right here, which lets me do all the quick stuff, flatten, reverse, cancel. Rarely use the reverse button, but this is for crude. Down here, we've got the S&P DOM as well, customized DOM. Really interesting DOM trading because I really love inventory. I really identify where the large inventory levels are and construct trade ideas based on those sometimes. If we move along, we've got the bond chart actually right here to the right. This is what this bond chart is right here. Let me just actually identify that for you. So this is the bond chart right here. I just look at the bond chart in terms of correlations. I know bonds move inverse to the S&P, so if the bonds are moving lower, I do expect there to be some strength in the S&P. We've got gold right here. I just monitor the general movement based on the price of gold right here. You can see as gold is weak, we typically expect the S&P 500 to move up slightly, which is slightly the case today. And then we've got a pivot chart here for the S&P 500 just to identify where key levels of resistance and support are on a larger time frame base. Now these two charts, the bonds and gold chart, I don't really use them too much to actually trade. I'll actually expand them or look at a different chart setting if I'm going to trade gold. Rarely trade the bonds, actually never have. On the bond futures, you can see gold has made a substantial move lower. This is where the overnight low is, and we've dropped $10 off of that. So the downside is the right side on gold, which means that I could be a little more biased to the upside on the S&P 500. Moving on, we've got a correlation matrix chart here. These are all the equities from Nasdaq, Russell, Dow, and the S&P. What this tells me is correlations, equities should be moving in the same direction. If one is moving up and the other three are moving down, I could have a correlation trade in mind based on this equity chart. And then right here, this is risk off. Gold, silver, bonds, and the yen typically move in the opposite direction to my risk on chart, which is the equities right here. So as these guys go up, these guys should be going down. As these guys go down, these guys should be going up. And I really like to see the discrepancies. If bonds are on lows and everything else is on a high in terms of risk off, why is that? And I don't really use this to get in or out of trades, but just create a general trade idea. Now, last but not least, the quote board here. This is an interesting tool because every morning I check this top number right here on the S&P 500. How much volume has traded on the S&P? A quick little tip is if volume session is low, right in the morning pre-market, we could expect minimal movement in the S&P throughout that morning session. It is now 2:42 p.m. Eastern, and we've only had 900,000 contracts traded. Usually by this time, we're well over 1 million in a good, fast-moving market, and the S&P did not move much today on November 5th. In the morning, if I come in and there's less than 350, 400,000 contracts traded, I know it's going to be a slower morning. Lately, we've seen 150, 170, 190,000 contracts, and that is not the best volume in this equity market for a speedy, opportunistic market. There is opportunity, but we do have to be a lot more patient. Now, finally, the last screen I've got to show you guys here. This may be the most interesting screen of all. What this has is the Nasdaq here, a 3-point range bar on the Nasdaq just to identify the correlation. I really like using Nasdaq to trade the S&P in terms of momentum. So if Nasdaq's dropping like a rock, I do expect the S&P to start dropping as well. Down here, this is the chart that I was talking about in terms of oil. Once I've seen the general market structure, identified the levels, I really like this 200 volume bar chart on oil to identify rotations and trend continuation. Really, really good to identify the microstructure within the general structure. And finally, what we've got here, you may be super interested in this footprint. It's the S&P 10-tick footprint chart, 10-tick reversal chart. What this is the double of the 5-tick that you saw reversal chart on the previous screen, but also you may notice that there's another study added. This study actually displays the volume traded at each single level and highlights whether the sellers red or buyers green are in control. This is a great study that we like to use because it identifies the momentum of trades. For example, as price drops right here, you can see to the downside, very, very little volume has traded. To the upside, you start to get a lot more volume, which means there is potential to the upside. However, it's a mixed bag of nuts between buyers and sellers. If all of these candles to this upside here were green, then we could expect a pop higher. The fact that they're mixed is we might muddle around. You can see the buyers take over here. We get a significant pop. They die out here, sellers take over, and now we're back within the range. This is a great tool for gauging momentum, identifying fade opportunities, and more. If you guys really enjoyed this and want this chart book, we've got it available to Trade Pro members. Go ahead to the website, sign up, and take a look at our chart book. This was a tour guide of the TPA chart book that we use every day in Sierra Charts. It has a lot of tools within it. We don't advise using the same setup if it doesn't work for you, but this will we provide all of our members. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's Victoria from TRADEPRO Academy. And next time we'll have some more Sierra stuff. Comment down below what you liked, what you want to see in the next video, and we'll take care of that for you. So take care, everyone. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and notify you when we do go live every morning for our morning market update. Take care, guys.